to another episode of Big Red Fish Dad. Today, I'm just gonna get ready to go to my mom's. I didn't get to go spring break, so still got the windmill over there. Got her little tin man that I made. She's been talking about all the snapping turtles in her pond, so I've been researching that a little bit, and so I'm gonna build a snapping turtle trap today. Looked online, there's net type hoops that are kind of funnel, like old fish traps. They just have a funnel that goes in like that, but they're pretty big. I don't have any netting. I do have some wire on hand, so I found quite a few models that are basically just a 1 to 2, it's about, some of them are 18 inches, that's the one I went with. Some of them are just 12 inches tall by 2 foot by 4 foot. And they're just a cage with a little trap door. The turtle comes in, pushes the door up, goes into the trap, and that falls back behind them. Since we're in her pond and we're trying to get rid of them, she said she's seen, I don't know how many big ones on the bank. So anyway, there's a ton of them. Last year we shot a few, but they're, they eat fish and stuff. It's not a very big pond, so we want to get some of them out of there, take them down to the river or the creek. We might eat a couple, have some gumbo. I don't think Philip or Thomas have ever had any gumbo, so, and I haven't had any since, well, when I lived in Oklahoma 25 years ago, so been a long time, so we might, but they're a little bit hard to clean, so we may not do that. Anyway, I'm just gonna build the trap. Think I'm gonna go with that rectangle style. There's a few out there, and one person puts an extra piece of wire up like this, so the door, kind of like this on the door, and this part trap doors like that, and this way when they're crawling back out, they kind of get caught in here and they just, can't find their way back out and out the door. Even if they did, this would hit against the bottom part and wouldn't open, so it only goes this way. But that's the kind I'm going to make. I've got plenty of extra wire around here. It's the 2x4 type. Some of the other states actually have regulations. Oklahoma doesn't really have any. It just says don't keep the painted turtles or the alligator snappers, or a couple things like that that they say. But the common snapping turtle, there's no regulations on them, and it's year-round, it said. So, but some people use the big, that's what's getting at, the reinforcement mesh concrete stuff with the 6-inch squares. That way, smaller turtles can get out and everything. Anyway, that's what I'm going to work on, and we'll catch you in a little bit. I was going to make a frame out of a lot of that flat bar that we have extra from the windmill that we didn't need to use it on, but I think I'm just going to, a lot of the models I saw online, they really didn't have any kind of frame, and the wire's pretty sturdy, so I'm just going to measure it out at 18 inches, bend it 2 foot, bend it 18, just basically make a rectangle box, and then I'll cut off a piece for each end and put the doors and stuff on there, and it should be sturdy enough. It's just got to hold its shape until the turtle gets in, right? So we're going to try that first, see how that works out. Okay, so I cut off an 18-inch section, and I got 2 pieces out of it because it's 48 inches. So I can should be able to get both ends out of one piece, but because what you want to do is make a little ramp in the front piece, and then another piece to come down. So I'll probably use that one for the ramp, and then that way when the turtles come in, they get caught underneath the ramp and can't get out, and when they come into this, they push the door up, and then it comes down behind them. Scrap pile came in handy. I've got this 1/8 inch by 3 foot piece of rod I picked up somewhere for some reason, don't know why, but it'll work perfect for the little support that I was talking about. So I'm going to keep all of this on the bottom so that's down in the mud, and I just want to come up 6 inches, 4, 6, and I'll go 2 squares back. Okay, so here's what I came up with. I originally was going to use some of this flat bar that we had for the windmill that we didn't use all of it. and make a rectangle frame for the front and back, but I bent a piece and it seemed to hold its shape pretty well. So I just went with this, and like I said, I think I may cut. I haven't done it yet. I'm just going to wait till I get there and just see what we catch the first time. We'll be checking it. This is only something that we're going to have there. If my brother or my son goes up there, or I'm up there, my mom won't be putting it out herself, because you get one of those 30-pound snapping turtles in there, and she's going to have a hard time pulling it out. So this is just going to be something we'll leave up there and put in just during the day while people are there. We'll hang some, we usually fish, so we have fish guts and stuff, and we'll probably just get a little chicken wire basket, and I'll make one of those real quick and just hang it in here for the bait. And so the turtles will come in here. We'll leave it up on the bank, probably about like that. That way we can just grab it from the back, probably right at the edge of the water. If the water was right here, we may put it in about that deep, but it's going to be mostly, out of the water. So that's why I didn't mind using this kind of wire. I guess that was the concern with a lot of folks, is that if it sinks or it gets into that murky stuff and goes under the water too far, they can't get their head out to get air when they need it, which I guess if you're not concerned about keeping them alive, then it doesn't matter. But you don't want to drown something, right? You'd rather take it out, shoot it in the head, and be done with it. So anyway, so I'm not worried about that right now, because we'll be checking it, while we're fishing probably. We've been down there before with a stringer in the water, and you can see the turtles going over to the stringer if you're too far away. But this is how it'll work. They'll swim in, they'll smell the bait, they'll go through this, it'll lift up on the back of their shell, and when they get through, it'll just fall back down. When they come back through here, they'll get caught under here, coming out, and this will be, you can't push it out. It's like that. So pretty simple design, kind of similar to a small hog trap. Same kind of concept and design. The hogs will squeeze through, go get the food, and then the door will shut behind them. So very simple. Just like I said, I just kind of looked around to see what I had. I didn't want to have to go buy anything, so I didn't buy anything for this. And that's kind of how to work. We'll try it out and see what we can catch. Just another quick thing, doing what needs to be done and having fun doing it. It was pretty interesting reading about the snapping turtles and stuff. Grew up with them all the time. Catch them on our trot lines all the time when we used to do the trot line. And we want to keep some of them under control, otherwise they do eat a lot of your fish and everything, and they won't grow. But you don't want to keep them all, because you do want something. They're scavengers, so they'll eat the dead fish and things like that too. So you don't want to take every turtle out of there, but you don't want 20 lined up across the bank on the one side either, because then you do have trouble fishing and stuff. So anyway, hope it gives you an idea if you're ever looking into building a trap or something. It'd work for other things as well. Probably even catch some fish in here if you don't build a hole into it. But like I said, we're going to be checking it often so we can dump the fish back in the pond, and because they are getting big enough, they'd stay trapped in here too. Although that's a good idea to think about. I may want to cut a hole in there. I don't want them trapped in there with a couple of big snapping turtles. We've seen some with a head a little bit bigger than my fist, so they've got to be pretty good size. Anyway, alrighty, well, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.